So Matt and I have been daily driving Nvidia GPUs at home for almost 10 years, and today that is finally going to change.
Welcome to the AMD GPU Switch Challenge, where for 30 days, Jackson and I are going to be switching to the RX 9070 GPU to see, can we be swayed to use AMD in our personal rig? We're about to find out after a word from today's sponsor.
Listen, building a gaming PC is only part of the process. Once you finish planning your perfect gaming PC build to get the best price performance, you need to make sure to install and activate Windows 11 with today's video sponsor, gvgmall. Use our link in the description down below to find the Windows 11 key, use code TB20 on checkout to save even more money, upping your price to performance game. Then you'll get a copy of the key sent straight to you. Take that key, throw it into a Windows 11 PC of your choice during the install process or after the install is done, and boom, you now have an activated Windows 11 with access of all the features it has to offer. Use our link down below and use code TB20 on checkout and you'll save some money on your Windows activation. Big thanks again to gvgmall for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the video, shall we?
So yeah, Matt and I have been running Nvidia GPUs for quite a long time now. We've just been upgrading Nvidia after time because of live streaming. We do live streaming from home and from the office, so we've just always gone Team Green because of that. But we have heard that AMD has really stepped up their live streaming game, and we think that this generation is finally our time.
And this video isn't just going to consist of live streaming testing. Throughout this entire experience, we're going to go over a wide range of different factors. Of course, we're going to be testing gaming here. We're going to go over our personal rigs a little more detail here in a minute so you guys know what systems these GPUs are going into. But in terms of gaming, Jackson and I have been playing a lot of games recently. So we're going to document our entire process gaming just regularly, whether we're playing games online, single player titles, or whatever, in our setups and discuss whether there's any issues, performance stuff, and that'll be the main documentation for gaming. And then for productivity, we're going to challenge ourselves to edit a video for Toasty DIY. It's kind of our typical challenge here where we upload to our side channel. If you guys haven't seen that channel, by the way, Toasty DIY, it's our hobbyist channel where we have to produce, create, edit, upload an entire video. That's one of the productivity side of things we're going to do with these AMD GPUs in our personal rigs. And then Jackson mentioned streaming. He's going to talk more about it later. Streaming during the Sunday stream that he does over on twitch.tv/ToastyBros, where he does a lot of gaming. We're going to be primarily streaming there for multiple streams to see if there's any issues we encounter or if the stream quality goes down. And lastly, we're going to talk about just overall usability of these graphics cards, because you know what? When you switch platforms, there are most likely going to be bugs. There might be crashes. There might be blue screens. We don't really know what's going to happen, but the whole idea of this challenge is to document every step of the way and every single issue we have. So hopefully you guys can be swayed either to switch to AMD or maybe we might be harder to recommend it for certain use cases.
So my system at home is currently very stable. So that's one thing that we'll talk about with this new GPU if it becomes unstable, but I'm currently rocking a Ryzen 7 9800X3D. Pretty hyped about that. We have a pretty nice Asus TUF X870, and then I also have an RTX 4070 non-TI, non-super, just single 8-pin, and I have a 550 watt Corsair power supply that is probably close, I would say 8 to 10 years old at this point. So I may be actually upgrading my power supply to run this card because my PC is very weird. It's built into my desk. This card, I don't think is gonna fit. And I'm even taking the smaller 2-fan card. So you'll probably get to see a little bit of modification along the way, but I have no doubt that this card will be just as efficient as my 4070, but it might just finally be time to upgrade.
You know what? I really hope he sticks with that power supply throughout the entire thing.
If I can.
You guys at home are gonna explode when you see that he's running a 9800X3D with this GPU with a 550 watt power supply. It's probably plenty. It's probably gonna be fine. But my GPU and my upgrade, my PC at home is okay. It's a Ryzen 7 5800X. I say okay, it's still a really awesome CPU, but it is older versus the 9800X3D, so it'd be interesting to see how it pairs with the RX 9070. I am swapping from a 4070 Ti to this GPU, and we're running a nice X570 motherboard with 32 gigs of RAM, a 1TB SSD, alongside a modified case that is sticker bumped, more traditional versus Jackson's PC. So in theory, my install should be easier. Maybe this is subtle foreshadowing. Maybe this GPU won't fit. It is a 3-fan model inside an old H510 Elite, which wasn't a very long case to begin with a radiator up front. But the whole idea of this process is to document all the issues. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, now we've gone over our systems and everything, we're gonna be taking these things home and we're gonna start recording the install process. And after that, we're gonna check back in 30 days and talk about all the good, the bad, and the potentially ugly of this challenge. All right, guys, I'm actually back the same day at my house with the 9070 from Asus here. I'm a little concerned about how the fit is going to work inside my personal rig. So we'll see exactly what happens here. But before I even embark on this, I might as well grab this graphics card and do a little test fit. This is my first time, by the way, opening this up. I didn't cheat and look beforehand as much as I thought about doing that. Oh, okay, well, here she is. the beautiful Prime card that smells quite odd. Let's see what the fit's gonna look like. This is what we're working with. As you can see, my 4070. Oh, it's gonna fit, but this is a slightly longer version of this card, so it's gonna fit. It might actually look better in this build than my current card, because I will say that white model is definitely not perfect for my color scheme, so this one might actually look pretty good. So what I'm gonna go ahead and do real quick is I'm going to run DDU on my PC, display driver uninstaller. Very important for you guys to do to make sure I get all those Nvidia drivers out of the way. So when I deal with any AMD conflict with drivers, that extension that I have for ATX 3.0 is just a cable extension. It's not an actual connector to my power supply, which my power supply is 750 watts, so I'm good there on wattage. Jackson, on the other hand, we'll see how that goes.
Okay, so I got the 9070 home, and I'm also gonna be installing one other part. I'm finally gonna upgrade my power supply from the CX550M, and I think it's time we go ahead and just get this done and over with, because it's going to suck, and let me show you why. So here is my gaming setup. It's pretty awesome. I got two 1440p monitors, a 1080p that's put in portrait mode, and then a smaller, I couldn't even tell you the resolution, just tiny little baby monitor there. A lot of cool peripherals, but my PC is actually inside of my desk.
As you guys can see, I have two monitors I'm gonna be hooking up here. I do also, over here, have a TV that I do occasionally use, so I'll have that hooked up. I think video out wise, we still have 4 video outs, 4 display ports of 1 HDMI. I think these are both running display ports, so that should be fine. And my TV is running HDMI, so we're good there. So let's get DDU going, and then from there, we will install the graphics card. Hopefully.
As you can see, my GPU, I know it's kind of reflecting right now, but there's like no extra space, and I believe that this 9070 is at least an inch longer, so if I'm lucky, this is just gonna fit, and man, this will be a lot easier. I do have a Asus ROG Strix power supply that I get to put in this, so I will finally have a 1000-watt power supply, and I won't have to worry about, you know, my 9800 X3D potentially pulling too much power with whatever GPU is paired with it. As you can see, I have a less than optimal airflow case that's all made out of wood because it just mounts underneath my desk. I think I'm gonna get the new power supply in, and then this is either gonna need to move back more, or I'm almost gonna need to like cut a notch out for future graphics cards that are longer to go through the back there. And hey, while we're at it, the off chance this shatters, I might as well get it on video, right? Safety glasses, earplugs. Tempered glass, ladies and gentlemen. I think that this 2-fan model is actually going to fit in my build as is without needing to move. Nope, you know what, we're gonna need a little more room. Ah, that is so close, that sucks.
For some reason, this is taking a very long time to shut down after running DDU. Hopefully this is not a sign of things to come. We did a hard shutdown because, well, it was just stuck there, so. Oh, that sounded horrible. Does not look like I broke anything. Now, should if I just pull on this? Actually, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to. It's probably gonna be a little bit harder than that. This might be a good time for me also because I don't have a working USB-C and I don't know why. And I just haven't gone through the effort of fixing it. So I can probably fix that now. 1000-watt power supply, it's 80 plus gold. This is going to last a long time in here. Except there is one other problem that I probably could have foreseen coming. So not only do I need to move this closer this way, but also this power supply is a lot longer. I could always do this too, actually. All right, I think we might be cooking with something here. I have a lot of work to do. This really is not part of the video, so I'm gonna go try to do all this and then report back. This is gonna be fun. I only have, let me show you guys. I think after we finished building this PC, we just got rid of everything. I only have an 8+8 pin on my power supply because that's how I was running this, which is running fine for a 4070 Ti, so in theory this should be fine, right? Shut latches in, I think we're in good. We pull on it a little bit, yep. That looks pretty solid to me. Nothing like running an 8-pin with a bridged 8-pin on a new gen GPU. Yeah, that should be fun, I think. I really hope I measured this right. Whew. Yeah, GPU fits, so let's go ahead and get that in. Oh, are these gonna reach? Yeah. Now, one thing that's nice is I got my power supply installed. Like I said, I finally have good airflow. Well, better airflow, I should say. Power supply's completely on its own circuit, which is nice as far as the air goes. Feel like I might end up doing a GPU upgrade after all this. All right, my PC is finally back to normal. I actually did not uninstall my Nvidia drivers, so I'm just gonna get AMD installed, and then I'll probably go to add or remove programs, get rid of any Nvidia stuff.
And yeah, we should be good to start gaming now, which is what I've kind of wanted to do for the last like 3 hours since I got home. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start gaming, but so far, no issues. Everything's set to high refresh rate. Let's keep going.
Fans are not ramping up just yet, but we should get display out if it worked. Ah, we did. Let's go. Gee, thanks for picking this monitor, by the way. All right, AMD drivers. Wow, when's the last time I did this at home? Did we get this monitor? Hey, the OLED, woo! All right, driver install time, auto detected. All right, guys, we got the 9070 here, good to go. I'm gonna launch a game, just run around a little bit, make sure there's no obvious issues, but hey, I'm looking very good so far. So this is running like garbage. Let's see if I can troubleshoot. So I'm doing a reboot right now because I kept getting an error from AMD software that I actually haven't seen before, where it said that the GPU works better when it's not in CSM compatibility mode, which is what I've always had installed in this PC. I don't remember why. I think it's when I transferred an old Windows install over to my drive, it needed to be in CSM mode. I transferred back to UEFI. Maybe that'll fix what that was. Hopefully it'll actually boot into Windows though. Okay, it does. I was worried it was not gonna boot into Windows. That does not appear to be it. The GPU is running at 80 watts. Could it be power limited? Is it actually getting limited by the single PCI cable? If that's the case, I'm kind of screwed. I'm about to see if Jackson has a similar issue.
So far, I have not really had any major issues aside from how long the PC took to get back together, but here's my first, just straight out of the office, getting to play some Black Myth Wukong. And I gotta say, compared to my normal 4070, I think I am actually getting a little bit more FPS right now. 1440p on borderless, and we got super res set to 68%. FSR with frame gen on, medium ray tracing, very high preset, which it does actually give me like an exclamation point saying that it may exceed and give performance issues. With my 4070, weirdly enough, did not tell me that warning. But the 4070, I feel like I was averaging like 55 to like 75 FPS. With this, I feel like, and it could just be the area I'm in, but so far I feel like I'm getting closer to like the, well, now I just dropped to 65, but I'd say for the most part, closer to like 70 to 90 FPS, which is definitely a uplift in performance. So I'm definitely not gonna complain about that.
Okay, I'm gonna try a driver reinstall. I'm DDUing right now the install I just had. I'm gonna see if it's because I didn't have the driver. Just ignore what's happening behind me. I'm gonna see if it was a driver install issue, and I'll get back to you. Are you kidding me right now? Do you really think this is the time? This is still running like garbage. Only pulling 90 watts from the GPU. I don't know what's going on here, but I'll be honest, I'm running out of time to troubleshoot this tonight. Now I don't have a functioning computer. Oh my God, this is gonna be a great month. It's gonna have to be another day. We'll figure that out. Jesus Christ.
So I just edited a 13-minute video that consisted of a mixture of like 1440p and 1080p clips, and I do a lot of 4K editing as well, but for a video like this, just nice and simple. And I'm just now actually going to try rendering for the first time. So 13 minutes, estimated file size of 2 gigs. And this is Sony Vegas. Matt will be using Adobe Premiere, so that'll be interesting to see the difference. But we're going to be using some pretty high quality settings here. We're using AMD VCE for our encoding mode, which in all honesty, I don't even know exactly what that is or what it entails, but let's see what this does. Well, okay, we're slowing down. I was about to say, like, this is really fast. I'm not used to being able to watch my render happen in real time, to give you an idea. So this so far seems a good amount quicker than my 4070 can normally render. We'll have to see how the quality comes out. Like I said, this is 1080p. I do mostly edit 4K, like 30 and 4K 60, so that may be another reason it's going quicker. But as far as like the editing experience and the rendering experience, this seems like it's equivalent or even better than my 4070 12 gig, which is pretty darn impressive for the price. So this is pretty crazy, guys. I'm making a tutorial on how to actually run Riva's Statistics Tuner and MSI Afterburner for our side channel, Toasty DIY. And while I'm recording on OBS at very, very high bitrate, really high FPS, and I think I'm at 60 FPS, I'm running Black Myth Wukong at 1440p borderless, and we are currently running the game at very high. We got ray tracing at low. We are using FrameGen and FSR set to 67 super res. It's smooth enough for me. You know, we're getting like 60 to 80 FPS. Look at how much RAM we're using. We're using almost all of our 32 gigs of DDR5. And overall though, more importantly, our 9070 is at about 94% usage. We're using close to all of our VRAM, but we still have about 1 1/8 gig left. We're at 210 to 220 watts. So we're definitely using this graphics card. I can tell you guys that much. This is very impressive to be able to record. I'm also watching a stream over here on Discord while I'm doing all this. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I don't normally play mouse and keyboard, so we'll see how this goes. Oh my god, a mouse and keyboard, I'm crazy. And I will say this map has been one of the harder to run ones for me for sure. Yeah, not bad at all. This is a really good graphics card, guys.
I figured something out. I actually just decided to mess with this a little more. You see my FPS right now? We're currently in game, and this seems decent, running very high 1440p. Not amazing, but maybe some CPU bottleneck. But once I plug up my third display, which is my TV, it is a 4K TV. It's plugged up now. It's good. Oh, wait, no, it's fine now. Actually, no, the FPS is not, no, maybe it's running okay. I swear this was running like garbage until I unplugged my TV.
Okay, so I just edited yet another video. This one was a tutorial that I've been meaning to do on how to use MSI Afterburner. And I just now noticed too, I've been watching at best full quality, which for those who don't know, when you're video editing, normally it's really hard to preview your video timeline in a higher quality, because normally when you're scrubbing, you're watching slow-mo, fast-mo, and edits and clips, it gets really laggy, so you have to lower this preview resolution or preview quality by quite a bit. And normally I ran in like preview mode with my 4070 and 9800X3D, but I gotta say with the 9070, it's just smooth, and I haven't even changed a single setting. The only thing I changed, like I said, was my rendering. I couldn't use, NVENC anymore, so I had to use that AMD one that I showed you guys, but it's looking really good. I mean, I'm not missing the 4070 right now.
As you can kind of see right here with my very bright OLED, I'm currently in Adobe Premiere Pro. We're gonna be editing a video about my Bazite handheld, which, if I'm being perfectly honest, has taken up a lot of my time. I've been playing just way too much Pokemon on my Bazite handheld, so actually I've been doing a ton of gaming on my PC, but I will be changing that. I still got a couple weeks that I can play more games on this PC. I gotta finish Ghost of Tsushima still. But anyways, I'm gonna go through a whole edit here, and if we have any issues, we'll check back in. But for the most part, I imagine this edit's gonna be pretty smooth. And if you guys haven't already, and Jackson probably already plugged it as well, go subscribe to Toasty DIY to see this video where I talk about my ROG Ally X and how I install Bazite on it, because it's a great operating system and a great video. So we're gonna get through this edit and hopefully everything runs smooth. Okay guys, just finished my edit. Incredibly bright right here, but you know what? I'm gonna have some OBS footage on screen here so you guys can see what I put together. It was a super simple video, just some basic B-roll, a couple OBS recordings. The footage is from an S5 Mark II in 4K, so it is a bit demanding footage, but for the most part, this PC handled it perfectly fine. Final render is not gonna be too bad either, but all in all, I didn't have any issues, no crashes. I know AMD is known for not being great for video editing, but realistically, unless you're doing a specific CUDA or NVIDIA accelerated task, if you're just cutting up files in Premiere, perfectly fine. But again, this is a pretty basic use case, so like a full-time editor might notice some issues. But for my purpose, and for probably most of the edits the Toasty Bros would make, an AMD GPU like the 9070 is perfectly fine. So I'm gonna go and render this out. If I have any issues, I'll check back in, but for the most part, it's a pretty big check for the 9070 when it comes to editing a very basic video. No major hiccups, and it's kind of what I would expect from a GPU in its price point.
All right, so I'm getting ready for, I think it's my third stream with the RX 9070 and the new power supply, of course, and I gotta say, close to 2-3 weeks into this, have not had a single issue, haven't had a single crash, blue screen, really any issues at all with the 9070. It once again just feels like it was a really smooth transition from my 4070, which I'm kind of surprised about, but hopefully this time I'm gonna remember. I'm gonna download my VOD right for the stream so you guys can see exactly what the stream quality looked like, but I should be doing around 6,500 kilobits per second, which is a pretty decent quality at 1440p. Let's go ahead and start streaming.
We got a patient.
I'm going full auto.
Get down.
Full auto.
I'm trying to help you, ma'am.
Down.
I'm flashing.
Why would you flash? He's
Don't
swinging.
kill him, Zach.
Ow!
Oh.
I'm blind and bleeding out.
Oh.
Wait, I can get there. So what?
Oh,
You good?
He wouldn't stand down.
You going to third?
We got a hostage. I mean, a good guy. Whoa, he's faking. What the heck? Did you see that? Dude, this guy was pretending to be a doctor, and then he pulled out a piece on me.
You're dead.
For a second. died. What is wrong with you?
The doctors are fixing me. Oh, please. Never mind, never mind. Ow.
Big explosion. Light him up! Light him up! Oh, he's dead. He's dead. He's definitely dead.
It's been quite the long month. A lot of things have happened. As you see here, we have our graphics cards right here, and we'll tell you at the end of the video what our determination was of these GPUs and whether or not we are rocking them currently. We'll talk about that later, but let's just dive into gaming. So talk about your gaming experience with the graphics card and, you know, your specs and everything, you know, how'd the gaming experience go?
Yeah, so obviously I got a 9800X 3D, so I'm like the top of the ladder when it comes to CPUs, and I was just rocking a normal RTX 4070. I was really happy with my 1440p level performance. I typically didn't use a ton of upscaling in most of my games, but going to the 9070, it felt like a pretty lateral move is how I would describe it. There were some games where I definitely got more FPS, like in Black Myth Wukong, I definitely got like an extra 10 FPS, which was pretty cool. But for the most part, I didn't have a single issue with gaming. I had no screen tearing, no hiccups. And then in my other usual games like Team Fortress 2, 300 plus FPS, Apex Legends, I was just always at that 144 cap at max settings. I did a lot of Ready or Not, running very, very high settings, 1440p, and I think I was getting like 140 FPS, so there really wasn't anything that this GPU couldn't do, and I was driving 4 monitors with it just fine.
So yeah, I know a lot of the people, especially when it comes to AMD, they talk about game crashes, driver bug outs, and stuff like that, and so far, and I will say the same thing over here, I did not have any game-breaking bugs. I mean, I was playing games like Ghost of Tsushima, which is a game I've been diving into recently, and funny enough, which I think raw performance, it shouldn't be the case, this card did better in Ghost of Tsushima versus my 4070 Ti. It actually performed better. It was getting, I was saying anywhere like 90 to 100 FPS, but I just recently was using the 4070 Ti to do a little comparison, and that card ended up getting about 80 to 90. So we're getting about 10 more FPS. Not even using FSR, that was native, so that's important to mention. You guys saw at the beginning of my install, I still had that one bug when it came to gaming. If I had my third 4K monitor plugged up, which, okay, I have a 1440p main display, a 1440p side display, and then a 4K TV. If I have that plugged up and I try to launch a certain game with that monitor on, it lags, it drops the frame rate to like half. No idea why. You unplug the monitor, you plug it back in, as in you unplug the TV and you plug it back in, fixes it, it's fine. That's just one of those weird ones where I can't even really blame AMD for. It could very well just be my computer being incredibly weird. Doesn't do it with my 4070 Ti, but for whatever reason with this GPU it's having issues. I didn't have any game-breaking crashes. I didn't have any moments where I'm like, wow, I'm blue screening or my game's falling apart or anything like that. Everything just felt fine. I was able to play any game I wanted to, 1440p, higher settings, while being, again, in some games the FPS was lower. The game I was actively playing, Ghost of Tsushima, was actually pretty smooth. The whole month process, no major issues. You saw my problems getting it set up. You saw Jackson's problems getting it set up in terms of getting the GPU installed. Let's say we have to do the desk, but that really has nothing to do with these graphics cards. I think if you can get your hands on one of these GPUs, you're gonna be incredibly happy, especially if you're on an Nvidia GPU, an older gen Nvidia GPU, and you're saying, well, right now in the current market, the easiest card you can get is an RX 9070, which they're much easier to get. It's a really good option, but the thing we have to tell the people here is, are we still using these GPUs at home? And I'll let you start.
All right, so I'm kind of embarrassed to say it in all honesty, but right before we even did this video, and I think Matt can hopefully back me up here, I was kind of wanting to upgrade my 4070 for a while, but I had a size limitation. My PC could only fit a 2-fan card, and so for the longest time, I was like, the best I could get was a 4070 Ti Super. I wasn't gonna do that upgrade because it just didn't feel worth it, so I was kind of waiting. Well, 50 series came out, and I kept saying, all right, they released a 2-fan card, that's actually good, I'm gonna do it, and then we decided to do this video. Well, after we did this video, this card did not fit right away. You guys saw that. You saw my struggle. And so I had to upgrade my power supply because I was running a 550 watt on my 4070 and 9800X 3D. So now I got a 1000 watt power supply to work with, and I have more room because I had to move the back of my PC. So therefore I was like, you know, I can fit a 50 series card now. I went to Micro Center because I happened to be there for a concert, and I bought a RTX 5080, and I spent close to $1,500 after tax. And I gotta say, my last regret with the 5080 is the fact that I've actually started to have some problems again with my PC. I say again, I'm having problems for like the first time, and one of those is I have four monitors, and one of them is like a little mini monitor, and I realized that for some reason, when I have any more than 3 monitors connected and I turn my PC on from sleep, my monitors won't display out unless I unplug one of them. It takes a second, it displays out, then I can plug the 4th one back in and it works. I literally just disconnected my mini monitor because I was like, I don't really use it that often, and I'm just leaving it like that. So I literally had to sacrifice a monitor for my 5080. I don't know what's wrong with it. I have not been able to fix it yet. And there's been a couple of really small quirks, like weird sound issues here and there. So I hate to say it, but like it does not perform that much better than this card here. Part of me almost was like, maybe I should have just stayed with this card, or even my 4070. I am happy that I finally have like a card that I'm like, I don't think I need to touch for a while, but I do wish it had more performance for how much I spent on it.
And for me, I would have stuck with this GPU only if I wasn't in the mindset now of, well, also my 4070 Ti in most situations being a faster card. If this was like a 9070 XT, I probably wouldn't even think too much about it. I would just keep it in my system, be very happy with it, especially in the games that I play. But with this being slightly slower than my 4070 Ti in most situations, I felt like it was worthwhile switching back. It was nothing to do with the GPU itself in terms of how it functioned, and also in my mind for my personal rig, I'm probably like a year out from just doing a whole new build anyways, so I figured, you know what, this 97 should probably go to someone at PC Bros or PC Selling Business, and I'll just stick with my 4070 Ti for a while until I end up upgrading my entire platform, because I'm at the end of the line really with that 5800X. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, let us know what you think of these series in the comments down below. Obviously this does take a lot of work, being a 30-day challenge for us to really document the entire process, but if these videos do well and you guys enjoy them in the future, you can let us know other challenges in the comments down below.
But as always, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you check out our other 2 YouTube channels and also our twitch.tv/ToastyBros, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
And we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.
So yeah, like we said, these graphics cards will both end up in PCBros.tech gaming PCs, and yeah, I know the market sucks, everybody's scalping cards, but I promise you at PC Bros, we do everything we can to have our builds close to MSRP.
PCBros.tech, we sell gaming PCs, gaming laptops, and so much more. Use code ToastyBros on checkout, you'll save 3% on your next purchase. See you guys later. Goodbye.